Today I'm going to be replacing the vanes on my arrow. Today I'm going to be using the Boning Strip Pro tool. You could also use a dull knife. Okay, what you're going to want to do first is take out your knock. You just pull it right out. Some people glue these in. I don't. I just slide it in and then adjust it whichever way I need it to be. But yeah, I never put any kind of glue or anything like that on it. So you remove that, and then you're going to want to get the tool, try to get underneath the vane, and then just go like that all the way through. And what you're going to do now is go ahead and start here a little bit before the glue, and just with one motion just keep going. You want to make sure that the tool or knife is on a good angle. You don't want it to be too upright, otherwise it's going to dig into the carbon and then just start taking carbon off the arrow, and you don't want any of that. So start here. You can see the glue coming off. Alright, that's nice and smooth. What you want to do is just kind of look at it. It might look like there's some glue residue on it, and that's kind of, might be alright. You just want to make sure, the biggest thing is just make sure that it's nice and smooth to the touch, so that way that the glue will, adhere to it and the vane will stick. Now that's nice and smooth, so what you're going to want to do is go ahead and repeat the process for the next two vanes. Now the arrow is all deveined and smooth, I'm going to go ahead and clean the shaft. What I like to use is the acetone. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit on the paper towel here, and then I'll just go ahead and then run the paper towel up and down the shaft. I'll twist the arrow while I'm doing that, just make sure it's got a good layer on there and it's getting nice and cleaned. Some people like to use alcohol. Some will use like a very fine grade sandpaper or a Brillo pad or something like that. I always just use a little bit of the acetone on there. Acetone's all dry, and I have the knock reinstalled. You probably noticed that earlier when I was applying the acetone. And I lined it up so basically you could read Warrior when it's on the rest and attached to the bowstring. I guess I'm kind of weird like that, but that's just how I have it set up. And I'm using the Pro Class jig. And what you're going to want to do is, if you can see at the top here, it says 3 up, because I'm running 3 vanes. So you just want to make sure that that 3U is up. And then you're going to go ahead and just put it in here like so, and it just slides right in. The knock will go right in. There's a little groove in there for that. I'm going to be installing the 2-inch Boeing Blazer vanes. I'm going to use the white vane for the top and the neon green for the other two. Next we'll be installing the vanes. I'm going to pick the white one because that's what I'm going to do first. So I want to make sure it's flush up against this clamp, and I have it marked here because that's where I want it to be on the arrow. So just make sure that's lined. I'll just make sure that's lined up. That's in there. I like to use Loctite super glue. I do not recommend using Gorilla Glue. Now it's time to install the super glue on the vane. I always start about a 1/4 inch in and put a healthy amount of super glue in the middle here. And also leave about a 1/4 inch away from the back of the vane. And I kind of spread it out with the tip of the super glue. What I like to do is put the end of the clamp right here against the actual jig, so that way when I push it down, it'll be pretty even and I won't have to slide around a bunch. So I'll go ahead, got it close to the edge there, it's on the magnet, and then I'll gradually push it down, and what you're going to want to do is just apply a little bit of pressure on the clamp. You don't want to push too hard, but just enough. And that glue that we left the 1/4 inch gap or so from each end, when you press it down, it's going to spread out a little bit. Alright, now that's been resting for about a minute or so. So what I'm going to do is pinch the clamp, slide it up, make sure that's there. Go ahead and give it one click to the left. Now I'm going to repeat the process for the next vane. Now the last vane. One more click to the left. Alright, all 3 vanes are installed. What you can do now is if you want to grab like a microfiber cloth or paper towel or something like that and just go along the edges, make sure if there's any excess super glue that it gets cleaned off. One little thing you could also do too is you could just put a little dab of the super glue on each end. So you do just a little dot here on the back. Little dot on this one. And then you can also do the front. And that's it. I like to wait about 24 hours or longer if possible before actually using the arrows after they've been refletched, so it just gives the super glue enough time to dry. Hopefully that was helpful. Don't forget to smash that subscribe and like button.